We felt that this would be the right thing to do, reach out to her in friendship. It was really fun for us to see, someone who's never been to our gurdwaras. It was wonderful that the Connected to India team did pick that up. We were truly appreciative because it did help our cause as well. I fronted it, but truly the young folks in my team, I think they have a tremendous sense of empathy, and they said that this would be the right thing to do.
He's one of the 11 nominees of Straits Times Singaporean of the Year. It was a very mature handling of an inadvertent mistake that he's my guest on Connected to India Spotlight. I'm absolutely delighted to welcome the gentle giant, the very charming president of Young Sikh Association, Sarabjeet Singh Masson. Sarabjeet, thank you very much for talking to Connected to India.
Pleasure to be here, Himanshu. Thank you.
I wish you and YSA all the best. I hope you win the award.
We're hoping to, but it's already a big win to get nominated. It's such an honor as well, given who the rest of the nominees are. Their stories are also very compelling, and it's truly just an honor to be, part of that, and to be, being considered alongside all these amazing individuals with great stories and the amazing work they do for community.
As you know, Connected to India covers news and developments around Indian diaspora across the world. So besides Singapore, we go to US, UK, Emirates and so on. So we want the story of the fracas which happened in Singapore Grand Prix to reach out to a wider audience. So please tell us what happened.
Yes, what happened specifically was there is an online influencer by the name of Sheena Phua. She was at the F1 concert last year, and two tall Sikh gentlemen, they blocked her view of the concert. And she put up a post on her online Instagram account, something along the lines of 2 obstructions came out of nowhere, blocking her view of the concert. And there were some members from within and outside of our community that took offense. And YSA decided to take a different approach where we reached out to her because we could empathize with her a little bit. She must have been going through a lot with the anger that she was that was being directed towards her. And we thought, at one point, we also came at this from a mixed perspective. There were some among us who were a little upset by what she had put up, but we thought the better way to go would be to just reach out to her. She must have been perhaps even afraid, and we wanted to reach out to her in friendship.
Give me a time perspective. How quickly did it develop into a sort of a crisis for Sheena Phua?
So the interesting thing, or rather the scary thing, if one could argue, is that online things are instant, right? So it was fairly quick, and I think by the time we came across the post, if I'm not too off, it could have been just within the hour. We decided, we had a quick discussion as a team, and we felt that this would be the right thing to do, reach out to her in friendship, and we also made clear. There's no expectation of an apology. Just come speak to us as a friend. So within the hour.
And at what time did you think, or the committee at YSA think, that you need to reach out to Sheena, that she will be requiring some help? Did she reach out to you, or did you reach out to her?
So we initially reached out to her, and the reason being because some of that anger, while we could understand and appreciate where it was coming from, but there were also some folks who were taking it a little too far. So this was also bordering a bit of cyberbullying, and they were talking about stuff that was entirely irrelevant, to the issue at hand.
Like, give us some examples of what were they saying?
So, some were talking about her appearance, and it was just so uncalled for. And that especially made us uneasy. My team's a group of young people, and you see, the thing is that I fronted it, but truly the young folks in my team, I think they have a tremendous sense of empathy, and they said that this would be the right thing to do, reach out to her as a friend. So we used our official YSA account, and we did it through that. That's truly the reason why, because it was turning ugly, it had crossed the line, and we felt that we had to do this. It was important for us to intervene.
Tell our audiences specifically, what did you do?
Sure.
You created an interesting program for her. So what was that program?
So what we did was we initially invited her online, and she responded that very night. And she said she was very keen, and she also did mention she was very appreciative that we were reaching out to her in kindness. And we arranged within a week of the initial post that she made to go to the Central Sikh Gurdwara It's familiar. It's a very familiar place for YSA because we have a lot of our meetings there. We also have some of our events there as well. So we decided for Sheena to join us. This was some time after lunch on a weekend, on a Saturday afternoon. And I'll be absolutely honest here, I didn't expect her to spend more than an hour or two with us, but she spent a good part of the afternoon with us. In fact, she had also other plans for the evening, but at no point did it seem that she was rushing this. We brought her to the Bar Sahib. We showed her the Guru Granth Sahib. And actually, if I'm absolutely honest, it was a lot of the questions she asked.
Wow.
And that's what kind of steered the visit, the conversations. So she came with a healthy dose of curiosity and sincerity, right, to know. We also enjoyed some langar together, and after a little bit of langar, we did some langar seva in the kitchen. This was also widely reported in the local news.
Yeah.
Made a bit of some chapati, some rotia. She also tried stirring the dal as it was being prepared. It was really fun for us to see, someone who's never been to our gurdwaras to be so immersed in just one visit.
Yeah, I would have loved to ask Sheena this question directly. She's not here, so you'll have to answer.
I'll try, yeah.
Was it Sheena's first interaction with the Sikh community in Singapore?
So Sheena, through her own admission, did share with us that in school, she wasn't too sure if there were any Sikh students with her. I mean, our numbers are fairly small in Singapore. So it's often the case that young people would have no interaction with a Sikh student, for example, at least in the school context. But she did share that through her work currently, there is a Sikh girl, and however the conversation doesn't really it doesn't get to tell me about your community. It's more about the work that they do. So that opportunity didn't really present itself.
You will agree that some credit is due to Sheena for having admitted that it was a mistake she did, and then being really open about the entire program you had laid out for her.
Absolutely, and to top it off, she also deserves credit for one of the new initiatives that the YSA has started, Culture, Community and Conversations, and it was because she mentioned that she felt really safe to ask the questions she had in a smaller group setting. And she said, you should try and do this for other groups. Keep it a small group so that the conversations can be deep, the exchange can be meaningful. And so that credit goes to her as well, where she prompted us to start this entirely new initiative by YSA.
So Sarab, I want to ask you, what is that important lesson which Singapore as a society learned out of this episode?
I think if there's one thing I hope we learned would be to step back and when an incident like this happens, not to react, but to respond. And that's the key difference here. If you're reacting, you're letting your emotions take over and direct or dictate, your next steps. But if you take a step back and you respond, I think that's where you're able to think about how we can do this in a human way, in a kind way. And for me personally, I was really moved by some of the younger folks in my team at YSA who told me that let's reach out to her in kindness. And I kind of asked them why they think that's important. And they said because they're trying to put themselves in her shoes, and she must be fearful. She's also probably feeling a lot of anger. And she's probably going to least expect someone to reach out to her in friendship at this point.
So talking about Young Sikh Association, tell us a bit about YSA. And I'm particularly intrigued about the kind of intensity of involvement you are able to evoke out of all the young Sikhs in Singapore. I know about Project Khwahish, and I was surprised that such a large number went to one of the villages in Sangrur district in Punjab. How do you do that?
The example of YSA, the work we do, the intensity, as you pointed out, is because young people in Singapore, and in our case, it's young people who also happen to be Sikh, they have deep passions and enthusiasm in some of the causes they truly believe in. So that's really the YSA story, where it's a developmental platform for young people to explore, experiment. And Project Khwahish is an example of that as well, where the team that was before the current team, felt that it was important to get young people to first connect back with Punjab. So the Sikhs that join us, who are Singaporean Sikhs, they had that opportunity to go back to Punjab and just connect with their roots. And they're visibly transformed once they come back, right? And then we also thought that, hey, in addition to the Sikhs in Singapore, why not also make this truly a multicultural experience? Have some of our non-Sikh friends join us on such expeditions. And it's been amazing, the friendship. So I've been on 3 of these. We're still such a close-knit group. And that experience, that the work that we were involved in, the perspectives we gained, sometimes even learning a lot from the host communities, right? These are memories that stay for life, and we even talk about even when we gather up to this point.
Well, I would like to go on record and say that next time you go for Project Khwahish, Connected to India would like to send a camera team with you guys to capture the great work you guys do.
That'd be wonderful. I mean, I
That's a
also like to, on that note, put on record, it was wonderful that the Connected to India team did pick that up. We were truly appreciative because it did help our cause as well. A lot of people came out, reached out to us after that article ran by Connected to India. So we appreciate that as much. And certainly, if we're going to do this again, perhaps even at the end of this year, let's work on it together.
We are on for that one. On that note, Sarab, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much, and congratulations for the nomination, and I wish you all the best. I hope you win it and YSA wins it.
Pleasure is mine, Manchu, and thank you so much for your kind words.
Thank you.